everyone, I'm Dr. Sonali and I welcome you all to CSE Core Concepts in the series of Learning Data Science with Python. In my earlier video, we started with exploring the Pandas library, where we have studied a very important feature which Pandas is offering is that exporting and importing a CSV file. This is very much essential because whenever you are working in a real-time project or in your thesis data or wherever, some systems, so what happens is that you are dealing with the existing CSV file and you want to perform data processing and data analysis on that file. So for data frame is fine as far as you are doing some practice, but actually you want to implement on that CSV file. So I hope you understood that how can we export the CSV file, or how can we import, or how can we mount our Google Drive along with our Google Colab, right? So now let us see in this video some more features of data processing which the Pandas offer. This video is going to be a bit lengthy because there are certain features we will be exploring along with the practicals. And one more thing I would like to tell you is that there are certain more features. This is not enough. There are many features, and then there are functions for performing exploratory data analysis using Pandas. So keep an eye on the upcoming videos also, and don't forget to like and share and subscribe to this channel so that you can get the timely notification about all the upcoming videos. So let's get started with the basic details or basic functions of the Pandas library, that is slicing. So now what is slicing? We have been discussing about slicing in our earlier videos of data types, where slicing means what? When you have a complete lot of data and you are not interested in viewing all the data, but you just want to view a portion of that data, that is slicing. Now here, since our data frame is of a two-dimensional, means there are rows and columns. So there are two types of slicing here, that is row slicing. You want to see only specific rows, that's enough. Or you may want to go for some column based slicing. That means you want to see the data of some few columns. That's enough. So now this slicing can be performed in two ways. One is index based, indexing based, when you know about the indexes and you want to see the first 4 rows or the last 4 rows, that's enough. But otherwise also you can perform slicing based on the labels, that is using the label names. So if you are using index based names, you will use the ILOC method. Whereas if you are doing simply based on your labels, you can use the LOC method, right? So this is what it is. Similarly, you can perform column slicing, but here it's little different because first argument is a column which suggests that you want to see all the rows. In case if you don't want to see all the rows, then you have to mention the rows range, okay? And this is about your columns, which columns you want to view. Then you can view specific cells also if you do not want to see a huge old range. And of course, you can do the slicing based on certain Boolean condition, which we have already seen in our previous video, that how can we extract only those data which we are interested in based on a condition. So let's have a brief look at these features. So what I might be doing is that for the ease of understanding, I have created this data frame. So first of all, I will have to import pandas with an alias name. And then I am creating a data frame of the type, first I am creating a dictionary, right? So there is name, 4 columns are there, name, age, gender and salary. And this I am converting into a type data frame. And this is what it is. So when I am executing, it is saying first I want to see the index details. So it is saying the index is starting from 0 up to 4, stopping at 4, means 0, 1, 2 and 3, and every time it is getting incremented by 1. And this is what my data frame looks like. Fine. Now if I want to view based on only certain frames like index, so this is the function ILOC which we have been using, right? And I am saying 0 to 2, so it is just displaying me the first 2 rows. But if I want to see only the first 2 columns, but for all rows, then I am putting this symbol. But in case if I want to see only this way, it is also possible. The first 2 rows and the first 2 columns, right? And if you want to see a specific index, that also you can see using 2, 3. And this is how you can filter based on a specific age. So if you want to filter by only the details where the age is greater than 25. So these are small functions for just extracting. Now another very important is that you change the data type. Sometimes we already create a data frame or we get some CSV file, but we feel that in the process of performing data analysis, we quite feel that the data type is not proper and I want to change it. Is it possible? Yes. Because we had studied that data frames are mutable, right? So this is the method as type. So let's say I'm creating a dictionary first. So name, I have these 5 rows. Okay, name and 4 columns, name, age, gender and salary. And I am converting it into a data frame. And now I want to convert the age column into a float. It is integer, you can see here. But let's say my requirement is that I want to save age as 25 years, 4 months. I need to be very precise about the months, right? So I can say df of age, the column name, dot as type float, right? Similarly, if I have certain date columns where joining date or you are making for an attendance sheet, right? So where attendance sheet, the date is important, the time is also important. So you want to convert it into a date time format. So you can simply call this function to underscore date time and it will convert it into a date time format. Okay. And when you are saying df.d types, it will show you all the data types. Then converting multiple columns. So not only one, here we have converted one column. You can convert multiple columns also, change the data types in this way, right? So this is how you can change the data types. And similarly, we have lot of string operations also in pandas available. That is upper, lower. So upper and lower, as its name suggests, it will convert the string into uppercase and lowercase. Is upper, is lower is boolean, which will return you true if it is upper, otherwise false. Length will return you the length of the string. Starts with, suppose if you want to filter the data, the names of the students starting with A. So you can use this function. Then you have split, you want to split a continuous string is there and you want to split it based on white space or comma. Okay. Then find, if you want to search for a particular index of the string. Okay. And strip, it will remove the white spaces. Okay. If you have lots of white spaces in your string, it will strip them from the both sides, front and end. And replace means it will replace a small amount of data or string with another data. So you can see here I have created a series. Series is something like a list, but you have to use this keyword series. So I have written the names of some of the players. Now here you can see some are in small letters, some are in capital, mixed and like. So if I want to convert, if I want to bring uniformity in them, and I want to convert all of them into upper, so I will write sports.str.upper. So this function will convert all of them into uppercase. So similarly, you can use all of these, any of these string functions also in pandas. And you are quite much familiar. We have discussed the string data type in detail in my previous series, that is beginner friendly approach of Python programming. So you can refer to that also. Now, a very important features of the pandas library is that, which we discussed in my previous video when we were discussing about the importance of pandas library, is that handling missing data. And I had told you that time that we will discuss what is missing data in my next upcoming videos. So now let's just take for example, you are opening a new restaurant. You have opened a new restaurant, right? And now you want some customer feedback with some customer details, like small details, like their phone numbers, email addresses, their birth dates, anniversaries, so that later on you can give them some promotional offers. This is the requirement. Okay. So you are giving out forms to each and every customer coming to your store and they are filling it up and you are uploading it as a CSV file. The data you are creating the data frame and you are uploading it as a CSV file, as simple as that. But in this process, sometimes what happens, some customers might not give them, so give all the details. Like somebody might not want to give their anniversary date or may not have, okay, yeah, and sometimes you do not want to give disclose your phone number. Sometimes somebody does not want to disclose their email address and so on. Now, when you are uploading it in a data frame, you may realize that some columns or some row values are empty, right? So that is called as the missing data. Understood? So if you are asking for the customer its passport number, not everybody has a passport number, right? So this is what, how are you dealing with this? It is very important to deal with the missing data because it will give you correct answers. If you have, suppose if you have a salary column and out of 100 records, 90 people are not giving their salary values. Out with the 10 records, if you are finding out the average salary of the people coming to your store, it may not give you a correct answer because you are taking the mean value based on that only 10% records. Understood? If you are taking considering 90% again, then your results may differ. So if you are, what will you do with the missing data? Should I drop all the rows having the missing data? You may, okay, if they are lesser in numbers. What if should I fill it with some other values, blank or something that it will tell that it will not consider? Or should I fill it up with some default value or some other value? So this is the beauty of Pandas library, that it helps us to deal with the missing data. Now here missing values are represented as either none or nan, two ways. None is used to represent missing values in an object type array. So when you have an array, so if one value is not there, you can write down none, not a problem. Another is nan. Nan is a special floating. If you know it has to be a number, it is a number, right? And you do not know what is the number, you will use nan. Okay, and nan is recognized by the IEEE floating point standards. Now, first of all, how will you check whether your data has missing values or not? Okay, so using the isNull function. So it will return the data frame of Boolean value where true will represent missing data, that yes, there is missing data. Simple approach to find and fill all the missing data in the data set. Now here I have certain data I have already done here. I will show you. So here I have, let's say I require NumPy here because when I am dealing with nan or any other missing data, I need to use the array. If I need to use the array object, then I need the NumPy library, right? So let's say this is what I have discussed. I have created a list of scores. So the first score is this, second score is this for each of the player and so on. But here you can see some places are nan. Nan means what? Nan means what? It is missing. Okay. You cannot say it is missing. Okay. So if I am checking is null. Is it null? It is not null. Okay. But it is nan. Nan means what? It is some floating point value. Okay. Special floating value which is recognized. You are not saying it is blank, missing, but you are saying it is nan. It is a special floating point value. Okay, so that is why it is giving you false, that there are no missing values. Now filtering data based on the missing values you can do. So here I will show you one file over here, which is a employees file. Okay, I will show you one CSV file on which we will be working. If you require this CSV file, please write to me in the comment section. I will upload it so that you can use this CSV file for your data processing. So you can see in this CSV file, we have certain records like first name, gender, start name, last login time, salary, bonus, senior management, and team, which team he belongs to. But certain people like Thomas, he is male, then he does not belong to any team. Maybe he is a clerical staff or a peon, right? Then similarly, here Lucy, female, she is not belonging to any of the team, right, which are listed. So this happens. Here is some person whose name is missing. Again, this person's name is missing. He is in the client services, right? So there are certain missing values over here, right? So if you want to read it is null, gender. If you want to see certain missing values in certain column, then you can add it, right? You can check and find it. So first of all, what we have to do is that we have to collaborate with our Google Drive. I have already uploaded this file in my Google Drive. So what we have to do, first we have to mount it with the Google Drive. Okay, so you know how to mount it. I have given you, I have shown you how to mount it with the Google Drive. So from google.colab, import drive, mount content drive. Now let's say for example, I want to read a file called as employees employees.csv. Okay, and I want to read this file. Right, so this is something which that file is, it is too big, that's fine, but we have imported that file. Okay, and in which data frame? Some called df, I have imported it, right? So now let us start coding it and check. So we have read the data file. So let's say boolean series is equals to pd dot is null. I am checking whether it is null or not. What is null? Which column? Let's say here the list of the columns are shown, right? You don't have to look here and there again and again. So this is very interesting. They will show you. Okay. So now what you are doing is that wherever is say it is missing, you are taking those values in another series. Okay. So df of Boolean series. Okay, and now let us print missing data. Okay, so you can see all those where there is data is some missing. Gender field is missing. Okay, so where is the gender? Yeah, here is the gender, and sometimes here, see here for this one LOIS, this is gender field is missing. Then for Joshua also gender field is missing. You can see here. Then again for Scott gender field is missing. So you can get a list of all the data for which any value you can say. Okay, let's say for example you want to consider who do not your query is that who do not belong to any team. You want to have the list of the employees who do not belong to any team. So these people do not belong to any team. Understood? So this is how you can see. Now there are other functions also I will show you. Is NA means if you it returns a data frame where true indicates missing data and NaN. Here it was blank. The missing data is blank. Okay, NaN is different. So if you have written NaN, okay, then it will detect all the NaN values. You can see here. This is NaN. So if you remember, I had created one data frame over here where I have mentioned some values as NaN, here 1 minute. Yes, so this was my NaN. So let us take this. Okay, now if I consider this function is NA. Okay, so sorry, so print if it is NA, right? Wherever it is NaN, it will print it, right? Similarly, checking for non-missing values which are not missing. Okay, that also you can do it using the function not null, right? Fill NA. Fill NA means if you want to fill that data. So wherever there is NA, if you want to fill it, right? So how are you going to fill it? Using the function fill NA. Okay, so you can use these functions, fill the NaN values with no gender. Wherever there is no gender, you can fill it with those values, right? Or you can use the function fill NA. Alright? Okay, so I will show you how can you fill up this NA values. You can fill up these NA values with your choice, like you want to fill with a 0. Okay, if it is a value of score, let's see first score is this, second score is this. You can see somewhere it is np.nan, right? So you want to put 0 in case of nan, or let's say sometimes you do not want to simply put a 0, but you can put let's say a forward fill and a backward fill. Okay, so you can fill using B fill or F fill. Okay, so this is how you can fill up the values, or you can fill NA with some other values and in place true. Now what is this in place? See what happens when you are updating in your data frame. Okay, suppose this is the data frame which you are doing fill. There are n. Now it will not do in this same data frame. Rather it will create a new data frame. Okay, in case if you want the updations in the same data frame, then you will have to write in place is equals to true. Understood? So otherwise it will not do. Or you can replace, you can use the data dot replace function to replace the nan value to some other values. We will see it. Okay, let's see some example. So I have taken some data. Name is Alice, Bob, Charlie. Age is this. And now I am simply I am creating this data frame, right? Now you can see here for age in this value there is nan. So I want to fill this value with 0, right? So I have said, now I told you that here it will not do in the same data frame because it will create a new data frame. So now if you want to see the new data frame, you have to assign it to a new data frame dot fill na 0 and you are printing C. Simply it has been assigned 0. Bob was np.nan. Now if you do not want to fill with simply 0, you want to fill the same age as that of what was given in the backward fill, then you can simply write down bfill. So bfill will do what? The next element 30, it is assigning it to this. Understood? You can use ffill. Okay, I am not sure about ffill. Yes, ffill, it will do it for 25. It is copying, right? Or you may want to use the replace function also. Now see, if you want to do it in this same data frame, then you will have to you will have to perform it differently. What you have to do is that you have to write it in the same data frame. Sorry. Yeah. So you have to write it here df dot fill na. Then you will write method is equals to, let's say, bfill, and then you have to write in place is equals to true. Okay. In place is equals to true if you write, then and you are printing df. Right. Now you can try it out. So you can see that same data frame it has been done, but it will come with a warning. Understood? So otherwise it is also possible, but you have to match this feature in place is equals to true. You can use other functions also to replace that using the replace function by using data dot replace to replace nan value with some other value, or you can use the interpolate function which will fill the missing values with interpolation technique, like with the linear interpolation values. It will find out, it will do some mathematical computation and replace it within this. Sometimes when you simply do not want to assign, that can be done. Or let's say if you want to simply drop. Okay, so if you want to drop those NA fields, you can simply drop like this using df.drop. Okay, so if you are saying, you can simply say that df.drop wherever there is NA. Okay, so you can see here it is given drop NA, and in place is equals to true. If you are writing, means what? It will drop in this data frame only. This is one of the feature when you have lesser number of records which are missing and you cannot assign any default value, so it will drop it. Understood everyone? So this is dropping rows with all null values. All you can do with any one null value. There are many features, right? So you can use the axis. I hope you remember. Axis, one is row, column. Okay. So if you are saying drop NA, how you want to drop? How? All. All means what? All rows will be dropped, whoever are having the null values. And here you are writing what? You are writing drop NA axis 1. So you are dropping the columns having at least one null value. Dropping rows means what? Axis will be equals to your 0. If you remember, in my previous video we have discussed how you want to any. Okay, so in employees record, you can always drop the file which I gave you. I will upload that file. Okay, and you can take that file copy. You can apply these functions and see how they are working. So drop.na is axis 0, means you are dropping the rows. with missing values, any missing values. Okay, so any column missing values, you can drop it. Then if you want to check whether the data has been dropped or not, you can check the length of the old data frame and length of the new data frame. And how many rows has been dropped, you can check length of D minus length of ND. So this work I am giving it to you. You can upload the results. You can write the results in the comment section if it is working or not. Very, very interesting. Okay, so do like, share and subscribe this channel and keep an eye. Part 2 is coming up. There are more features, more data functions in pandas. Thank you.